Welcome, everybody, to the Men of Zen and Animation Research Podcast. My name is Brent.
And I'm Phil.
And today, if you know that sound, it's one of the best sounds you could ever think of. You ready for this? It's Regular Show. Oh! Ham-boning.
Ham-boning. It's going to save your life someday.
Dude, this whole fucking show is amazing.
So damn good.
And I don't even remember how I got into it. I feel like it was a show that just kind of snuck up on me that this is, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to bump my microphone there. This is one of those shows that it's in that same era of, I would say, golden animation, like the last golden age of animation that kind of borders between adult humor but also kids humor with things like Adventure Time, Misadventures of Flapjack, even Chowder. There's just this whole slew of shows where it was almost expected that it had adult undertones. But Regular Show, the more I watched it, the more I realized I was like, what part of this is actually for kids?
I wonder that too. The farther I got into it, and there were definitely certain scenes that I'm like, that's not meant for kids. And here's the thing, I'm an adult. I can understand the type of innuendos that a lot of older cartoons used to do. But there's definitely like scenes in this show that are straight up talking about butts, or stuff like getting with the ladies, and I'm just like, oh, this is not a kid show.
Yeah,
who said this was a kid show?
It's very overtly for adults, and it makes it very well known from all sorts of like weed and drug jokes. And
oh my god, yes.
There's also like a lot of it is about the dating life of our main characters, and it's this beautiful culmination of what is college life, or what is life like maybe immediately after college when you're in your early 20s. You just like, you're in the stage where you're an adult now, but you're learning what does it mean to be an adult, and you don't want to have all that responsibility. You're not quite ready for it yet. You just want to fuck around and play video games and hang out with your bros and remember the good times, and you never want the good times to end. But sometimes this show has lessons about why you should sometimes be an adult, but being an adult sucks. I'm in my 30s and it still sucks.
I'm waiting for the parts to get good.
It's never gonna get good. Oh my god. So we are, of course, discussing Regular Show by J.G. Quintel, who is a legend in these cartoons for Cartoon Network. He's done work on some things like Adventure Time, Misadventures of Flapjack. Like, if you like any of this weird, awkward humor, this guy, like, this is this guy's persona. He's really just like this in real life. It's him. Like, Mordecai is him. He doesn't play anybody else. It's just him. And like, we'll talk about it a little bit later when we get into some of his voice acting, because not only is he the creator, he does the voice for one of the main characters, Mordecai. And it's just his voice. He just talks. He doesn't do any voice acting. That's just how he talks. So it's nuts. Just like when you hear any character that he's ever done, you're like, wow, yeah, he doesn't know shit about it, but it fits. It fits the main characters so well that it's just something about it grabs you, and it's relatable, and I love it. So we've got Regular Show, which was originally titled Normal Show. It's an American animated sitcom that was released in 2010, and it after its 8th season in 2017. It is highly exaggerated and a fantastical portrayal of what it's like in your early 20s when you are stuck between being an adult with real responsibilities but a strong desire to still be a kid. You're hanging out with your buds, playing video games, goofing off, and just being lazy without consequence. It is not set in any specific decade or year. However, technology in the show ranges anywhere from the late 80s all the way to the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So it's really like there is no way to pinpoint. Like they play video games on retro, like Super Nintendo-esque systems, sometimes almost like Atari-esque looking games and stuff. But then they have things like flat screen TVs or cell phones and shit, or they'll like hang out at the arcade or go to a movie. It's just the technology range is all over the place, so you really can't tell, but it takes all of the best parts of things that I remember throughout my entirety of growing up,
right,
and puts it into this one place that makes me feel at home, and I really love it.
Right, and one of the biggest things they focus on a lot is VHSs. Mordecai and Rigby love VHS tapes.
Yes, they still have rental stores.
Right, and they rent VHSs, and it's so freaking cool.
Oh my god, I'll have to look up a one of those songs from, it's like Super Stellar Stargirl Trip. It was from like season 2 or 3, about the VHS tape that the clerk they like lose their mind and their brains or their minds go into the VHS. Dude, I love that episode, and it's got such a fucking amazing song to it. I fucking loved it. It's phenomenal. But yeah, like I feel like I remember just stumbling upon it, and maybe it was just on because I would actively watch Adventure Time. I would like go out of my way to watch this, and then afterwards it would be regular show. And I was never really excited for it, but the name J.G. Quintel in the intro, I'm like, I've seen that somewhere, so it was recognizable, and it just always just played. But then, the more I would pay attention to it, the more I'd realize, I'm like, I really like this. And then I'd find myself watching it just, I don't know. It's a great binge show. You can fly through this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the episodes are only about 10 to 11 minutes long, and there are certain seasons that have up to 38 episodes.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. I didn't realize there were that many episodes. I had been binge watching the show for about a week and a half, and I only got to season 5.
Jesus.
And there are still more, 3 more seasons and a movie. I didn't get a chance to watch the movie yet because I didn't know the movie existed until this morning.
Right. Yeah, the movie, I never watched that either. I meant to get around to it, and it just wasn't. I don't know. This has been a really busy week for me, so I watched as much as I could, and I got to, I think it was close to the end of season 3, but it's like episode 20, 25, 26, something like that I ended on. And it's right around the time that Mordecai meets CJ.
Oh, yeah. I know that one. I actually, because I was like, screw it, we're recording the episode tonight. I need to see how the show ends officially, so I skipped to the last 2 episodes, which are a 2-parter. Mm-hmm. The second to last episode is still 11 minutes, but the final episode is 22 minutes. And I remember literally in the first minute, they were hitting me with so many things that had happened. I'm like, wait, what? Why are they here? Why are they doing this? Why is that person here? What the fuck is going on? Yeah. And you realize you miss so much. Mm-hmm. Apparently the last season just went off the walls with I don't want to spoil it. They just went off the walls with this one, doing some crazy things.
Dude, every episode they do crazy shit.
I know, it's so good. Like the first episode. The first episode is so fucking.
Honestly, it has to be cliche to be like, first episode is the best. Dude, first episode is the fucking best.
I don't know if I would say it's the best, but it is some memorable stuff that if I remember anything about the show, a lot of it is in episode 1. And I just love, there's a line that I'm just like, no fucking way. A sober man said this. And Mordecai's like, you know what? I always wanted to date a woman named The Power. I'm like, what?
Dude, that's so fucking good. The whole idea of that first episode, or the fact that they're 5, 6, 7, 8. Fucking they do that little dance. They're like, don't look at our crotches while we synchronize our watches. Beep boop beep boop 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 beep beep boop beep 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 beep. synchronize. Like they do this
A
little
bunch of baby
dance.
ducks, send them to the moon. A guy with a street sign, send him to the moon. The fucking dumb shit. This show literally is one of those, like, if you can get, find a little green in legal states, and we don't
I'm not
promote
judging.
that. We don't judge. We don't promote, but we don't judge. Just get toke up a little bit. Watch this show. Like it just makes sense. It works. But talk about the regular show because you mentioned a couple of their names. Let's talk about these characters.
Yeah.
The regular show's two main characters are Mordecai, a blue jay, and Rigby, a raccoon. Two young adults, aged 23, that work at a city park as the groundskeepers while living in a house with other employees like Pops, an old-timey gentleman with a large head that always pays in lollipops. He's a too pure-hearted of a guy.
He's the best.
Muscle Man. Good show.
Good show.
Oh god, then we have Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, two best friends that rival Mordecai and Rigby. And yes, High Five Ghost is literally a ghost that just has a giant hand on top of his head for high fives.
He's awesome. He's one of the best.
Muscle Man makes a lot of jokes about his mom. I don't know if he understands like that's not the right way to do things, but it's great because he'll like Brent, just like say like what did you do today, Brent? What did you do this weekend?
Well, I had a bad time at the One Piece tournament.
You know who else had a bad time at the One Piece tournament? My mom. Yeah, stuff like that.
Probably. She probably did.
Yeah, probably. Not so well. And then Skips, a Yeti who only skips.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's his, like, for a second it was almost unnoticeable, like I didn't understand why, and there's a specific scene in one of the first episodes when you see him run off the screen and you're like, oh, like, and he goes fast.
He skips with speed.
Yeah, he's a fucking really bulky, muscly ass Yeti who is like, he's like immortal.
He is immortal. He did some ritual where like he has to do it every year, but he keeps his immortality.
Dude, like
and
the characters this show creates are so fucking off the wall.
Oh yeah, we haven't even gotten to like the craziest one yet. And then they have basic duties to perform, like lawn maintenance, trash, running the concession stand, and planting new trees are just some of the jobs they perform. Their favorite thing to do, however, is just slack off and play video games. Each episode, they consistently find ways to avoid the task they are given by their boss, Benson, who is a living gumball machine. I am not kidding. This world is totally just fine with this living gumball machine, just like we never see anyone else besides like him, at least in the 5 seasons that I watched.
No,
like there's anyone like him.
No,
but like there's plenty of like normal humans out there, but then you have like birds like Mordecai and Margaret, and then like Rigby and his family, and it's just like the weirdest thing. Like nobody gives a shit that there's talking like animals and gumballs, and
it's just normal.
It's regular.
It's just regular.
It's just a regular show, man.
Dude, it's so fucking insane. And they constantly get wrapped up in these like supernatural, surreal, like interdimensional, like just bizarre shit.
Oh
like,
yeah.
The episodes ramp up so far from where they start every time. Like shit, if I could remember the name of the fucking cartoons they watch, like the Superstar Galactic Girl Exploder, or whatever that fucking thing is. Like, it just it starts from them like they just want to rent a movie. It's that easy. They go to the shop and they're like, "What do you recommend?" And the guy behind the counter is like zonked out of his mind. He's like, I like Super Galactica Star Girl, whatever. And like,
it's anime.
Yeah, it's, oh my god, and it's anime as fuck. It's so good. And they end up renting this tape because they're trying to get Mordecai's mind off of Margaret, which is like his crush. This
Margaret.
Yeah, she's I think she's supposed to be a Robin.
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. And so it is. So it's like they have this whole like love and dating thing, which is a really big part of the series. And the focus like starts with Mordecai and his crush Margaret. Yeah, who is a Robin. Mordecai is seen as like shy and uncomfortable speaking about his true feelings, which plays a major role in the relationship between the two, while Rigby is much more upfront about his feelings when it comes to his female counterpart, Eileen. She doesn't come into the series until near end of season 3, season 4, somewhere around in there. And it's like immediately apparent that like Rigby doesn't give a shit. He'll be like, like we're the best. We're gonna go out there and do that shit, and like,
Yeah, we are.
He'll ask any chick out, but at the same time, Mordecai will be like, "Hey, Margaret, I got an extra ticket to the movie," and like in the middle of him like trying to ask Margaret out to a concert, she'll like acquire a new boyfriend in between that sentence, basically. Like, not necessarily literally, but it's like she gets a new boyfriend every episode, and Mordecai's like constantly getting upset by the fact that someone else beat him to it, and he's like, no, and he just starts to like get really depressed.
Right.
And it's a real thing. So the series has received a lot of acclaim from critics and has developed a following of all ages, although it has garnered controversy for its dark humor, sexual innuendos, violence, and mature themes. And there's plenty of those. Like,
there's so many.
There's a lot.
There's straight up scenes that just like show like Margaret in short shorts and like they just kind of emphasize her butt, like when she's riding away on her bicycle, and Mordecai's like, yeah.
Mordecai's like, Red Robin.
Yum.
Jesus, and I wonder if that's why. Do you think he did that? I don't know. He didn't specify if he likes Red Robin or not.
Well, we all know who likes Red Robin.
I feel like
Mordecai. Real talk, when we first watched the show and we were living together, like we quoted that shit all the time, and I think we still do every once in a while. We drop the old Mordecai and Rigby.
It's a regular thing.
Yeah, it's a regular show.
It happens pretty much all the time, and it's great just learning about where these things came from.
Mm-hmm. One thing I will say before we hop into that, I feel like when we were roommates back in the day, which is like, oh god, like 2014, 2015.
Yeah,
we were roommates almost 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. It's been that long.
We were definitely Mordecai and Rigby, and sadly, I would definitely say I was Rigby in that situation. You were more of the Mordecai.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh, shit.
Oh, boy. But hey, many of regular show's characters were loosely based on those developed by Quintel's students' films in the California Institute of the Arts. The Naive Man from Lollyland, a short doodle-like animation featuring a character that would later be known as Pops, who tries to pay for a meal at a restaurant with lollipops instead of cash. And then there's 2 in the AM PM, another animated short about 2 gas station employees working on Halloween who consume candy laced with acid. The 2 employees would go on to later become Mordecai and Benson.
Mm-hmm.
Both of these animated shorts originate as part of the 48-hour film project, in which students put words into a hat, pulled out one word at midnight, and spent a weekend developing ideas for that film.
Yeah, and like I don't know if you watch that. You can find this on YouTube. You can watch 2 in the AM PM. It's maybe 6-7 minutes long. It's not really too crazy, but yeah, it's like these 2 just regular human employees, and they're on Halloween, and one of the guys, like, he's still, I mean, it's like we said, it's J.G. Quintel. He doesn't actually voice act, so it's just him being like, hey, do you want some candy? I got some candy in my pocket. And the employee's like, well, sure, it's Halloween. And he hands him some, and he's like, he's like, yeah, it's weed candy. And the guy's like, weed candy? And he goes, and like, when he takes a second, and he's like, well, maybe that's not so bad. And he goes, oh, wait, no, it was acid. And as soon as he starts to say it was acid, like, this human turns into what would become Mordecai. Like, the other guy is seeing him transform into a bird, and he's like, what the fuck is happening? And then he himself turns into a gumball machine, which is Benson. And like, they're both freaking out behind the counter. At least the guy who is now Benson is freaking out. He's like, this is not normal. And he cranks his fucking thing on the front, and a gumball pops out. And he's like, what the fuck?
Can we talk about, there's a scene where literally, like, Muscle Man and Benson come out from a bush, and Muscle Man's chewing bubble gum.
Oh my god!
And it's kind of insinuated that he, performed a little something.
I don't
Benson.
know if I ever caught that.
Yep,
Holy
I did.
shit!
I never caught it when we first watched it, but like upon rewatching it for this, I was like, oh.
Oh my.
You know who else likes chewing bubble gum in a bush? My mom!
I bet. Oh my god. Jesus. And it just goes on, and it never ends with this shit. So Quintel originally pitched Regular Show for Cartoon Network's Cartoonstitute project, in which the network allowed young artists to create pilots with no notes, which would possibly be optioned as shows. The series premiered on September 6th, 2010 on Cartoon Network. After 8 seasons and 261 episodes,
Whoa!
the series concluded on January 16th of 2017 with the 33-minute finale, a regular epic finale battle.
Final battle.
A regular epic final battle. I'm sorry. I don't care. Whatever. Screw it. And the cast that they got for this I feel like they all did an amazing job with J.G. Quintel playing Mordecai. We have Sam Marin, who plays Muscle Man. He also plays Pops.
Yep.
William Salyers, who plays Rigby. Mark Hamill, who plays Skips.
That blew me away when I found out about that.
I could not believe it either. That was absolutely insane. Like, that's a really big name drop to have on this show, to be like, yeah, we just casually have Mark Hamill, who is this consistent character. He's in basically every episode. I don't know if I can think of an episode he's not in. So they got Mark Hamill there all the time. And I remember, and I watched a handful of interviews that Quintel was in for this, and he would say something akin to, like, when Mark Hamill, if they were ever like doing any sort of project and somehow the conversation segued into Star Wars, he's like, everyone would shut up and just focus on Mark Hamill, and like everyone would stop what they were doing, come over from their desks just to be like, wait, is he talking Star Wars stuff? Like, dude, that would be cool. I would fucking drop everything and be like, please tell me more.
Please tell me more, Daddy Luke Skywalker.
Please, Daddy Skywalker, I need knowledge. You need more Margaret.
And you know, because this is like, you know, Mark Hamill obviously being a big part of the show, I went out on a limb. You know, this is going to be something crazy for all of you out there, our listeners here.
Ooh.
I reached out to talk to Mark Hamill.
Yep.
And he got back.
Yeah.
Saying basically, don't message this account back, you loser. Which is publicist. No, I'm just kidding. I tried reaching out to Mark Hamill to get a little bit of, you know, maybe a little bit of interview, a little bit of some words about his, you know, time on the show, what he thought of it and whatnot. Apparently his Instagram account is not controlled by him. Who would have thought?
I'm not surprised. Like, he's
Right.
got someone else. And same thing with JG Quintel. However, so I checked out, he's on a lot of social media, but the last time he was ever on any of these social media accounts said like he was active like a year and a half, 2 years ago. So I sent him some messages anyway, but I'm not surprised that he did not receive them because he still hasn't gone active ever since. But
You know, when we go somewhere on the Men of Zen podcast, we go big,
well,
but we typically go home.
yeah, we end up going home, but I'm sure he's really busy. I mean, obviously he's busy, but he's working on another new series that's on HBO.
Is it close enough?
Yeah. Yep.
Yep. So that show actually was ended last year. What's funny is I actually went to watch that this morning with my girlfriend. Not on HBO anymore.
Really?
Yep. I looked it up. It's called Close Enough, and it's not there.
Huh.
I don't understand because it even says online where to watch Close Enough, and it says HBO Max, but it's not there. I typed it into the search bar, nothing. Only thing that came up was Regular Show.
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. If maybe that was one of the shows that got, because remember, HBO Max is getting fucked with right now because the new head of like the WB Discovery merger is taking a lot of shows off the service. So unfortunately, that could have been one of those shows.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that. But like Close Enough is really interesting.
Like a more adult version.
Yeah. Well, so the synopsis is that it's a it's like a married couple
And their daughter.
and their kid, but one of them also, like, it's like one of their exes also lives with them or something really weird, and they're just adults trying to find time to be adults. And I know there's like an entire episode where they finally get away from the kid and they spend basically all day. They're like, what do you want to do? We can do anything we want. And they're like, we want to go pay bills. So they go out to go do like regular adult shit, but they're like, we could do it without being distracted. And that was like what's cool to them. And oh man, it's a really interesting series, but it's got all of the same over the top wacky humor, the same kind of animation, so it's insanely recognizable,
right,
in terms of it's his style, that's for sure. You know, there's a part in the show, I don't remember if I put it in, I don't think I put it in our fun facts shit for the end of this episode, but there's an episode called, I think it's called Skate Dad, and in Skate Dad, there is a section where they're in a skate shop, and this older gentleman who's like in his mid to late 20s, he's like, I want to get back into skateboarding. And they go into the skate shop, and as they're panning over the skateboards, one of the skateboards, when it like scrolls past it on the wall, it plays this really weird like noise. And like it's like this inaudible, like the skateboard looked like it was supposed to be really demonic or something, so when it zoomed over, it tried to do like some demonic like like some weird like satanic voice or some shit over it. However, somebody figured out that if you play that clip backwards, it says buy more Regular Show DVDs. Like this Close Enough is riddled with fucking Regular Show fucking nods and shit. And what's awesome is that Quintel even said, he's like, I don't even know if I know all of them, because the creators and like, or the artists and stuff just put them in there and they won't tell him. So he's like, I'm sure there's a bunch that I don't even know about, but they're all over the place. Like the wallpaper in I think it's the backsplash of their kitchen is actually just really dysmorphed figures of Regular Show. Like it's the Mordecai Rigby pops and shit, but like they'll have like they're just really warped and distorted, but they're just like solid orange on like white, like it's supposed to be a patterned wall, but it's Regular Show characters.
That's cool as shit.
Like they got a bunch of shit. Or there's like scenes where they pan over to a fence post and there's like a raccoon running by and then a little blue jay sitting on the fence post or something. Like, not that it like means anything, but it's just there. It's for fun. I thought that was really cool.
Oh man, little Easter eggs thrown in there for you.
Yeah.
Oh man, well, just want to let you guys know, Regular Show largely grew out of creator J.G. Quintel's life and experiences in college. Quintel attended college with Thurop von Orman and Pendleton Ward, who both went on to work at Cartoon Network Studios with Quintel. Van Orman created The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, called it, and Ward created Adventure Time. Oh my god!
Yeah, like I said, this was
Trinity.
Like, yeah, for real. And Misadventures of Flapjack is
so weird.
Oh, it's fucked up. Like, it's like Ren and Stimpy level. Like they do all the really gross hyper detail faces and stuff. Oh man, it's really uncomfortable, but such a great show.
Oh, 100%.
Fucking loved it.
Quintel concurrently worked on Camp Lazlo and as a creative director on The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack while completing his degree. He was later invited to pitch for Cartoon Network's Cartoon Institute, project showcasing short films created without the interference of network executives and focus on testing.
Yeah, and I feel like that's such an amazing thing where like they really wanted to just give him full creativity.
This is what happens when you give full creative control to people and they can, strut their stuff. You get crazy shit like this.
He said they never got turned down for an idea. He's like, we're just going to do something. And they're like, yeah. And like, they never said no to anything. And I honestly, with like how much adult humor is in this, considering it was on a cartoon channel, like primetime, middle of the day for kids. And like, it's just really weird. Like, I was never sure, I'm like, who was this supposed to be targeted at? And it's just really confusing.
Imagine like so many kids around that time start going,
yeah, I could see it. But I've never heard of a younger generation other than us really talk about Regular Show. So it's appealing to us, but it's just such a weird time slot. But Adventure Time was definitely the show that overtook like younger generations, because that show was just unhinged. Like they could do anything they wanted, but there wasn't nearly as much adult humor. There is definitely some. Later, Quintel returned to the characters from his films for the creation of Regular Show, put them together with newer characters, and created a pilot. Quintel wanted to present a visual pitch rather than a verbal one, believing the idea would make little sense otherwise. He storyboarded the idea for the pilot, and Craig McCracken and Rob Renzetti liked his presentation. Regular Show was one of 2 series from the projects that were greenlit, the other being Secret Mountain Fort Awesome, based on the Cartoon Institute short Uncle Grandpa, which in turn became its own series later on. The project was eventually scrapped and never premiered on television. The character of Mordecai embodies Quintel during his college years, specifically at Cal Arts. Quintel said, "That's the time when you're hanging out with your friends and getting into stupid situations, but you're also taking it seriously enough." The character of Rigby was randomly developed when Quintel drew a raccoon hula hooping. He liked the design and developed the character of Rigby to be far less responsible than his companion. And it's really something that like you need to have that kind of contrast in characters, because Mordecai is the guy that he wants to be really responsible, he wants to do the right thing, but he's really easily swayed and pulled into doing the stupid fun shit that Rigby wants to do. Like, come on, man, let's just go to the arcade and fuck around. And Mordecai's like, I guess. And then when something gets fucked up, Mordecai's like, "See, Rigby, I shouldn't have listened to you. That was such a stupid idea," even though he had the most fun at the time.
Yeah, here's the thing. Like, looking back on the show and watching it, Rigby is an awful person for the most part. Like, he's just dumb. Like, he's lazy. Like, okay, Mordecai's lazy, don't get me wrong. But Rigby's worse, and most of their problems come from him just not being able to listen to simple fucking directions.
Yep.
Like, hey, don't open your eyes. Opens eye.
Yeah.
Like, what? I didn't do anything.
There's like, I'm pretty sure there's an entire episode that's based on that exact scenario where he's like, Rigby keeps fucking up everything in my life. Or even like episode 1 it is another great example of this, where the 2 of them are upstairs. So they live in this house with all of these other employees. And I think Benson, the park manager, he has his own apartment. He doesn't live there, but they live there with Pops. I know Skips is around the area. He
has
lives
his own
in like
little
a trailer or house or something. Yeah. And then Muscle Man and High Five Ghost, they have their own like trailer that they stay in. So they're upstairs in their room, which is just super barren. They basically have like a dresser and 2 beds. And that's it.
Oh, no, it's 1 bed, and then there's a trampoline.
Oh, yeah, there's a trampoline. That's right.
And
so,
Rigby's bed.
Like, and they're upstairs, like, fucking around, and they're doing like pretend wrestling with one of their like.
I think he wants me to put the hurt on him.
Yeah, it was like a little stuffed, like a little like a soft plushy doll of like a little wrestler or some shit.
And his name was Bean Burrito or Beef Burrito.
And like Mordecai picks up Rigby and he's like, he wants me to put the hurt on him. I think he wants me to put the hurt on him. And he throws Rigby downward into the trampoline that's at an angle, which launches Rigby at like the wall. He totally misses. He doesn't hit the doll at all. He hits the fucking wall and they put a giant hole in the wall. And like immediately Mordecai's like, "Oh, we shouldn't have been fucking around. See, now there's a hole in the wall. You did this." Like he just immediately starts blaming Rigby, even though Mordecai was all in on it. It's fucking hilarious. And I just, oh man, it's so good. Their chemistry is amazing.
Or like there's the episode where like, I think it's like either episode 2 or 3 where Rigby keeps fucking everything up and Mordecai's like, "Just don't do it." And Rigby's like, "Well, like the hot dog thing." It's like, Benson told me, Benson said I could totally cook the hot dogs. And then after he just fucking destroys the hot dogs. He's like, "Yeah, that's probably why Benson told me not to cook the hot dogs yet." And Mordecai's like, "What?" I also love how there's like the running gag of like, Rigby can't punch worth shit.
Oh yeah.
And Mordecai always like, "Let's play punchies," and just smacks him down.
Punch.
Or how he will like throughout the time, like Rigby will say something stupid and Mordecai will just like punch him off screen.
Oh my god. I love their chemistry.
Yeah, they're great.
Shit. But hey, I think we're going to take a really quick break here. We got a couple ads to read, and I believe we're going to do our drawing for our last week's giveaway from our Blue Gender episode. So stick with us here, and we will be right back.
What's up, gamers? Birds and Swords here. I'm Micah.
And I'm Alyssa. As part of the Barn Media Group, we bring you anything and everything from the world of video games.
Are we experts?
No.
But do we play a lot of video games?
Hell yeah, we do.
So come check out our gaming podcast, Birds and Swords, for insight, opinions, top lists, and all the fun that comes with talking about games.
Come laugh with us. Or at us.
So bring your bird and your sword.
Because it's Birds and Swords.
Hey guys, I want to take a quick break to talk to you about our show's partner, Dubby Energy. You know, that sweet, new, upcoming energy drink that you're dying to try? Well, let me tell you what. We got the goods. We got the hookup for you. Did you know that Dubby was formulated to give you the focus and energy you need with no jitters or crash? Their patented formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and neurotropics, including the patented Neurofactor. Dubby also contains no calories, no sugar, no maltodextrin, no filters, and no artificial colors. And with our discount code, Men of Zen at checkout, you get 10% off your entire order. Check out some of their new flavors like Big Energy Tears, or the Dragonade Energy Drink, or Dub Sludge. They got some apparel, they got some shaker cups, they got it all. So check out w.gg, use our discount code Men of Zen for 10% off your order. Back to the show.
All right, everybody. Now, I know we said that we've got this giveaway to do, so let's get on with this before we get right back into it. You ready to do this?
Let's fucking
I'm
go,
gonna
baby.
spin this wheel. Do you want to do the honors?
Oh man, here, I'm gonna fuck up someone's whole night. Do I just like tap it? Or
Yeah,
do I-
just tap it. Yep, just hit that.
All right, here we go.
Oh,
Oh.
There we go.
There we go. The winner is... Oh, shit.
It's our boy Derek.
Derek Claren.
Hey.
Hey, buddy, you are the winner of the Blue Gender DVD sealed box set, which, you know what, might be the last sealed copy of Blue Gender on the internet, because we could not find anything. But hey,
Like-
guess what? Now we don't even have to like mail it. We know the guy.
Yeah, that's rad. But no, hey, thank you so much for entering our giveaway, Derek. It means a lot to us that, you know, you're one of our buds, you're one of our good pals, our good friends. And yeah, I don't think Derek definitely deserves this. It's awesome. And he's a really big anime nerd. I know he's gonna super appreciate this. So just another thing to add to his collection of ever-growing anime. He has a shit ton of anime on VHS. Like, that's so fucking cool. I didn't know that. He started showing me some of the stuff he has. I'm like, whoa, man, it's awesome. Yeah, he's a good dude. So yeah, hey, congratulations, Derek. Next time I see you, I will have this for you and a couple of vinyl stickers. But yeah, thank you so much for entering our contest. So let's get on to the rest of this episode, which we got a lot to say about the man J.G. Quintel here. So we're gonna dig into this a little bit here. Shit, Phil, do you want to start us off?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Last thing we know, here we go. James Garland Quintel was born in Hanford, California, the son of Terry Nee Morris and James Allen Quintel. According to Quintel, Hanford's geography is kind of flat and there was not a ton to do when he was growing up, so he and his friends were always looking for ways to entertain themselves. He later incorporated these kinds of misadventures into regular show. Into his teenage years, he loved drawing and watching cartoons such as The Simpsons, Beavis and Butthead, Rocko's Modern Life, and Ren and Stimpy Show, as well as the British surreal comedy shows The League of Gentlemen, The Office, and The Mighty Boosh, which would later inspire Quintel's work.
Yeah, Quintel often played the video game Toe Jam and Earl.
Yeah!
Which, I love that game way back in the day. That was like up there with like Vector Man and
The game is just so weird.
It is.
First off, it's one of those really weird games you really don't know what you're doing.
well, that was like the 90s.
Right.
That, like, your game had to stand out, and to do that you just needed something strange, and like you needed something new that people would be like, what the fuck is that?
Had a
Like,
sick beat though.
yeah. Hell yeah, it did. Fucking, oh man, I'm trying. There was a bunch of games I used to play on PC that I can't fucking remember. Jazz the Jackrabbit.
What?
You never played Jazz Jackrabbit?
Never even heard of it, sir.
He's like a green mutant bunny, but he's dressed up kind of like Rambo.
I'm looking at him with an eyebrow up, like, what are you smoking?
Yeah, he was like a jacked up green mutant bunny that shot the shit out of things with guns, but it was a side scroller like a Mario thing. Oh, dude, it was nuts. I don't remember what console, or maybe that was even PC, but man, that was super strange. So ToeJam and Earl, obviously a really big influence of what he later described as the perfect platform for regular show protagonists Mordecai and Rigby. He also became influenced by rock music from the 1980s and later added 1980s music into regular show. He attended Hanford High School in 1998. When he was 16, his father gave him a video camera, which he used, along with Lego men and crude paper cutouts, to create a few minutes of stop-motion film for several short film projects at Hanford High School. To expand his artistry, he took an AP literature class and a pottery class at Hanford High, as well as a summer class where he learned how to animate films and make flip books. And this is really interesting because that kind of stuff stays with him forever. I don't remember if I talk about this or if I found anything in my notes to put this on, but there is a really good YouTube video where J.G. Quintel goes through the creation of episode 1, The Power. He uses, everything he does is analog. He doesn't do any digital drawing at all. He puts it all onto Post-it notes. And
Wow.
he makes I don't remember how many he said, it's close to 1,000 Post-it notes, makes a single episode. And he's really good at it, but his idea, which is so simple and I love it, is he said, if I can make you laugh with a shitty drawing on a Post-it note, that's how I know when it's going to be something good. So he's just got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of all these things, but he has all of the notes written down for the directions their head swivels, the lines that they say, who exits the screen and who leaves the screen. And he just goes down and he reads the whole episode.
Good Lord.
Through these Post-it notes, and the video is zoomed in showing the little drawings that he did on each one. Oh, it's fucking amazing.
Dude, that sounds sick.
It's so good. I'm pretty sure I sent that to you in the Facebook thing. It's fucking amazing.
I'll have to look at that.
So he also worked at a movie theater and at a lot of minimum wage jobs. And this absolutely shows in regular show because they get fucking shit working there. Mordecai and Rigby are poor. They work for minimum wage apparently at the park and in regular show. And goddamn. In May of 2000, he was nominated as 12th grade California Academic All-Star from Hanford High. What an overachiever.
Right?
That was not me.
No. I coasted in high school, man.
Yep, I didn't do
C
shit.
average, baby.
I am a horrible test taker, man. I can barely remember shit from 5 minutes ago, let alone bullshit
hell no.
I'm supposed to remember formulas and shit.
Yeah, I also have this thing called test anxiety. So good luck on that.
I don't. I have ADHD. And that's,
Hey,
and,
same.
I never had. I never fucking did anything about it, and now that I know I have that shit, I'm like, wow. No wonder why I did so fucking bad.
Man, I'm dumb.
Man, I'm dumb.
Yeah. Oh, hey, meanwhile, you're back.
Oh, what's up, boy? You're J.G. Quintel. He's a cool guy.
Oh yeah, you watch regular show too?
Oh hell yeah, boy.
Who's your favorite character?
I like that. I like that high five. High five going. Give him a high five.
Oh dang, you like High Five Ghost?
Hell yeah, he's my boy.
Oh man, we might have to hook you up.
Yeah.
He's a friend of the show. Yeah,
The Muscle Man's cool.
yeah.
He says all them good jokes. I love those jokes.
Oh yeah, you like those his mom
Oh, yeah,
jokes?
he's always like, my mom. And, that's good. All right. I'm gonna head upstairs.
Okay, good. Meanwhile, get out of here.
All right, bye.
Go, please. God damn, he won't leave. Ever since that episode of Aqua Teen, he's just been hanging upstairs. It just smells like meat.
You talking shit about me down there?
Oh no, you're good, man. Go get some water. You need it.
All right.
Stupid ass meatball.
What an asshole.
You know who else is an asshole? My mom.
Oh, I love that joke.
Yeah, he gets it. Oh man! After high school, Quintel attended the California Institute of the Arts in Santa Clarita. Excuse me, Brent. I'm trying to read a script here. Can you stop laughing? You're trying to be professional podcasters.
No. Podcasting at its finest.
As I was saying, At Cal Arts, Quintel and about 20 fellow students, including now voice artist Sam Marin, developed their short films by throwing title names such as Lollipop or Candy into a hat, drawing them out, and reading them aloud at midnight as a warm-up, where they would each then rush back to their desks in a marathon effort to make a film in 48 hours based on the one word drawn. In the spring of 2005, this Cal Arts process led Quintel to put together a short animated film about an ambassador who loses his cool during a benign encounter. Quintel titled his new film The Naive Man from Lollyland. And moreover, as Quintel's first exposure to the animation industry, Quintel obtained a 2004 internship at Cartoon Network Studios to work on the TV series Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Amazing series.
He did.
At Cal Arts, Quintel would also meet another student by the name of Pendleton Ward, fancy, with whom he would later work with on Cartoon Network. On the Cartoon Network series, there was
it's a page break.
Page break there. They work on the series The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. Ward would later use this experience from Flapjack to go on to create the Emmy Award-winning cartoon animated series Adventure Time. During the fall of Quintel's fourth year at Cal Arts, The Naive Man from Lollyland won both the Producer's Choice Award, an Apple G5 computer, and a copy of Bauhaus Software's Mirage animation software, and the Student Animator Award, US $1,000, and a copy of Soft Image XSI 3D computer graphics software. Sounds fancy. At the 2005 Nicktoons Film Festival. In the response to Quintel's success at the 2005 Nicktoons Film Festival, Fred Siebert, an entertainment entrepreneur, that's a word. Entrepreneur. It just looks weird. And television and short and film producer identified Quintel as an original talent to watch out for the future. Quintel's hometown local newspaper, the Hanford Sentinel, noted Quintel's success in the 2005 Nicktoons Film Festival as being one of 2005's moments from a memorable year. In December of 2005, Quintel graduated from the California Institute of the Arts with an BFA degree in character animation.
That's so, I'm sure that software that he got, considering that, it's an award, I know that software is expensive shit, especially back then. I can't imagine, what the cost of some of it today, because even just, I guess now we can do, the Unreal Engine 5. I don't know if that's entirely free, but I know it has, a free assets and shit that you can use, and you can learn how to use it. It's not necessarily easy, but you can. But man, some of this software, honestly, I believe that was probably a pretty big deal back then, just because that was not cheap shit. That was early 2000s, where 3D animation was starting to be the cutting edge of some of the really big shit, Pixar and stuff. I'm sure that was expensive as fuck. So after graduating, Quintel passed a test and began working as a storyboard revisionist for Cartoon Network's Camp Lazlo. In May of 2006, Nicktoons Network announced that Quintel would be one of 6 judges at the 3rd annual Nicktoons Network Animation Festival. In 2007, Quintel entered his short film 2 in the AM/PM in the 30th annual Spike and Mike's Sick and Twisted Festival of Animation.
That sounds cool.
In 2 in the AM/PM, again, we talked about this earlier, it's 2 slackers are left alone to run a convenience store gas station on Halloween where candy filled with drugs creates a mini nightmare. Quintel later used some of these 2 in the AM/PM characters in regular show, which turned out to be Mordecai and Benson, which was really... I was before I watched this, I was oh, that's where Mordecai and Rigby came from, until I finally, later was oh, Rigby was just a random doodle that he thought kind of fit, Mordecai's opposite. In 2008, Quintel pitched regular show for the Cartoonstitute project at Cartoon Network by using a storyboard, with his reasoning that, I don't think me verbally pitching such an odd concept would have made any sense to anyone. In 2009, Cartoon Network ordered more episodes of The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack, as well as greenlit Quintel's project regular show. The agreement upon the premise of regular show was that the series would be about 2 park groundskeepers, Mordecai, a 6-foot blue jay, and Rigby, a hyperactive raccoon, who try to entertain themselves at their jobs while doing anything they can to avoid work and escape their everyday boredom. Along with his success at getting approval to develop regular show, in December 2009, Quintel and director John Infantino were nominated for an ASIFA Hollywood Annie Award in the category of directing in a television production for their directing work on the Candy Casanova episode in the season 2 of The Marvelous Misadventures of Flapjack. However, American animation director and fellow Cal Arts graduate Brett Holland subsequently, God,
That's a word.
Yeah, subsequently, there it is, subsequently, and took the Director Annie Award in February 2010 for Holland's work on The Penguins of Madagascar. Launch time. 9 months after Quintel was nominated for an Annie Award, Regular Show debuted at 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time on September 6th in 2010. It was in September 2011, while the first season of Regular Show was being aired, Quintel was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award in the Outstanding Short Format Animated Program category as executive producer and creator of Regular Show. However, his Regular Show series was beat out for the award by the ABC animated special Disney Prep and Landing Operation Secret Santa.
Boo!
Never heard of that bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that is.
I feel like they got gypped. They got cheated.
I feel like he definitely did. He deserved that. Screw ABC. What the hell do they know?
Yeah, nothing apparently.
They're nothing. They're nobodies.
Now, did you know, by March 2012, Quintel was directing a crew of about 35 to develop each episode of Regular Show, which takes about 9 months to go from idea to final product. Quintel has most recently worked for Cartoon Network Studios in Burbank, California, developing episodes for the Regular Show and providing his real voice to the 23-year-old Blue Jay Regular Show character, Mordecai. In commenting on his voice acting, Quintel noted that how he has an easygoing nature and never yells in real life. So he had to learn how to yell as the Mordecai character.
Yep.
Imagine not having to yell.
Yeah.
Or be mad.
He's such a chill dude. Like, I mean, in every interview, he's imagine Mordecai. Just, that's it.
That's so weird, because all I can think of is him as a giant big blue bird.
Yeah. And it's so funny. Like, so in that 2 in the AM PM, as soon as the character like transforms into Mordecai, it felt so right. And I was like, wow. Like, I don't even know if he like really thought about just how good that character design fit his voice. Like, it had to have just been like, that's it. I'm like, man, there's nothing else that I could really picture that voice on than just a chill Blue Jay. Like, what's up, man? Like, he just,
what's up, dude?
Wow, it was insane. Following Regular Show's conclusion, in January of 2017, Quintel announced the creation of Close Enough, an animated series about a young couple and their daughter in Los Angeles. The series was initially expected to premiere later in 2017 as part of a planned adult animation block on TBS. However, the cornerstone of that block was a Louis C.K. helmed series called Cops, and when C.K. admitted to sexual misconduct earlier that summer, TBS retooled their entire schedule, shutting down Close Enough into development hell, despite having its entire first season produced. Fuck you, Louis C.K.
God damn it.
It was later resurrected when TBS parent company Warner Media Entertainment announced the launch of the streaming service HBO Max that would feature the original exclusive content, which is apparently not there.
Yeah, so now I'm wondering, like,
That
if
makes
it's
me
been
hella
removed
sad.
from HBO Max, where do you watch it?
I don't fucking know. I mean, I could torrent it, I guess.
No, you're gonna
I'm sure
find
someone's got it. There's
it.
no
Torrent
way.
it and send me the link, boy.
Yeah, like I really want to see that show. Like from the previews and shit that I've watched, it seems really fucking funny.
Right.
And I don't know. It screams JG Quintel. It's all the same art style, animation, characters. It fits. It works. I really like it. So we got. I picked out at least a few fun things that like I picked up either throughout the show or through some of these interviews, and we can go through some of these.
Yeah.
But so for the first fact that I have here is all the all those catchphrases. They were actually things that his friends in college really said.
I love how while we were playing cards today, Charlie, friend of ours we play cards with, I actually did the and he looked at me, he's like, and I'm like, my guy, he knows.
That's fucking awesome.
Like, you can just like do some dumbass shit like that, and people are like, Regular show.
Yep.
Mhm.
The single like synthesizer tone that we played at the beginning of the episode. So they did that purposely because he just needed to have as much animation time as possible to cram as much story in. And it's really interesting too, the guy that they got to do their songwriting and stuff, because there are some episodes that feature a bunch of like original written music, like they do full songs and stuff, like summertime and you're living in the fucking summertime, loving baby, loving in the summertime.
Aw, snap.
Aw, snap.
Come to our macaroni party, then we'll take a nap. Aw, snap. Aw, snap. That was a great episode.
Do you know that guy, when like he writes those things, he brings this really interesting concept to the table where he goes, I need to write music for this show, but I need to purposely write it that it's not good in a way that it is still good. Like, trying to wrap my mind around, like, you don't want to write, like, you can't write like a full-on like hit. It has to sound like it belongs in this series, which he does a phenomenal job at with the songs and the lyrics and stuff that he comes up with.
Right.
But trying to keep in the mindset of it can't be too good either. Like, you gotta hit this really weird sweet spot of, yeah, it's all right. it's regular, I guess.
It's okay.
It's normal.
It's a regular show.
That would be so hard for me to hold back on. And he does a lot of it on like synthesizer and stuff is one of the main things that they end up using. Another really fun thing that I ended up finding is that the house in the park has no true design. There were several different artists on the show that have pointed out that sometimes there's windows that exist in certain rooms, but later they're not there. Pieces of furniture move around. The room sizes change just depending on what they need for like that given moment.
Oh yeah, there'll be parts like when they do like a full like bird's eye view of the park, and then you see like there's really not a whole lot of stuff in the park, but then they'll do episodes like, oh, there's a lake in the park. Oh, there's a party house in the lake, or like a nice like event party venue.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
Like he mentioned that the park constantly expands, and like every time they add something, it becomes like a new thing. Like I remember they had like an overview of the whole map of the park.
Yep.
And they're like, okay, we added this here and then this, and every time they add something new, he would like just like post it up to like, okay, like that's a thing. Like maybe we can go back to that or whatever. When they did the movie, they had to go back and completely redo the whole house. I don't remember if it was because they said they lost like. They had like the overall layout of the outside, but they had to come up with one final like true version of the house, and every time they do different scenes inside, nothing ever changed. Was it the episode with the spy camera when Benson gets
Peeps?
Yeah, Peeps. Yep. And then Benson gets a bunch of fucking like body cams to try to watch Mordecai and Rigby to make sure they're all working. Hallways elongate and stuff all the time, and just things shift and move around. It's really crazy. William Sawyers, the guy that voices Rigby, he did some digging online and he found out that Australians think Rigby is a squirrel, because they don't have raccoons in Australia. So they're confused as to like, what animal is he supposed to be? I mean, I guess I could understand that, but that's so weird considering that in Australia, like they come from a place where they have some of the weirdest shit on earth.
Right.
Everything wants to fucking kill you there. There isn't a single safe animal I can think of. Like kangaroos will fucking beat the fuck out of you. You've got crazy the little blue dragons. Have you seen those? They're like really, really teeny tiny little blue sea creatures.
No, I don't think I have.
They fit like in the palm of your hand. Now they are like, they're beautiful to look at. It's insane. They look like they're from another world. But recently, it's a big thing on like TikTok and social media too, where I've seen kids like picking these things up, not realizing that they are insanely poisonous and they will kill the fuck out of you. So it's not so much that they themselves are poisonous, but they eat corpses of poisonous things, and their bodies can absorb all of that poison. And if they feel threatened, I'm not sure if it's a bite or a sting, but whatever poison that's in their body, they excrete it, and that gets into you. And like fucking man-o-war, jellyfish and shit. Like,
God, no.
They
Hell
will
no. That's why I
straight
don't
up
want to go to Australia.
fuck you up. Yeah, and like these little guys just like wash up on the beach all the time, but they're so adorable looking. It's like a fucking Pokemon, like for real. I'll show you at the end of this episode. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
I got you. Over 80 characters in regular show have died.
Yeah.
All mostly villains. There's actually a really funny episode where like literally all the villains from the entire series at that point get resurrected, and they have this giant battle royale with like the main cast and all the good guys that they've had throughout the years in the show. It's a really funny episode.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't
We
know
also
if I
didn't
got
talk
that
about
far.
Thomas.
No, yeah, we didn't talk about Thomas.
He's an intern
Yeah.
that comes up like later, like midway through the show. I guess he disappears like later on, but like yeah, there's just a stretch of episodes where like they focus on Thomas, the intern, and he's a goat man.
No, did you get back to him when they bring him back?
No, like I said, I got to season 5 and then I skipped to the last 2 episodes.
Ooh, yeah. If you watch this show, just know that like so fans were like loved Thomas so much they were like, we need him to come back, and they
He was
came
so
up with a
bland.
whole new storyline as to where he went and why he was at the park. It's fucking hilarious.
I'm gonna keep watching the show regardless.
Yeah,
Like it's so
it's
freaking good.
hysterical. I loved it.
And now Quintel doesn't know who the High Five Ghost was before he died. By the way, this is an actual ghost. You know, not
Yeah.
just not a nickname. He's an actual ghost.
Yeah, he's actually dead.
And his name is High Five or High Five Ghost or Fives
Yeah.
or something like that. But he was just a dude apparently when he was alive.
Yeah, he has no idea who he was. Terror Tales of the Park episodes, they were heavily influenced by The Simpsons' Treehouse of Horror, because The Simpsons was one that he quoted as being one of the biggest like inspirations for like his humor, or for some of the animations that got him into just animation in general. And it's totally recognizable, and especially the Terror Tales of the Park episodes, relating to Treehouse of Horror, which I love the Treehouse of Horror. So there's like a whole series of these Terror Tales of the Park. Like in the Terror Tales of the Park 2, originally had an alternate ending where it shows that all the characters actually died in a car accident, and that their driver was actually taking them to hell.
Damn.
Like, that's dark as fuck.
Jesus Christ, that is hella dark. And then finally, the Terror Tales of the Five has all the cast dressed as various famous characters, both real and fictional. In this episode, Benson was Sherlock Holmes. Rigby was Bison from Street Fighter. Mordecai was Bruce Lee from Game of Death. Skips was Rambo. Pops was the fourth Doctor Who. Muscle Man was Snake from Escape New York. And finally, High Five Ghost was Willow from the movie Willow.
Dude, I lost my shit when I saw Rigby as Bison. I was like, oh, Street Fighter's my shit. And it's so fucking funny that he would play him. Or even Muscle Man is Snake. Like, for a little bit, I was like, is he supposed to be Snake from Metal Gear? And I forget that, like, the Escape from New York, Escape from LA, I forget that those movies even exist sometimes. They're really fucking wacky, like, for being, like, the early 90s. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're like early 90s movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
This whole show, like, I wish we could go on with more of like the show, but do you have an episode that just comes straight to mind?
You know,
Like when you think about the show?
It's cliche, but it's always the power. Like, not just because it's the first one, but honestly, like, it's one of the best episodes I can think of that takes all of the it's the greatest showcase of all of the little things that make this show great. Like, he has the random keyboard that he brings out, and like when he reveals to Mordecai this keyboard, he's like, hey, we're gonna do this thing, and he's like, check this out, I got this keyboard. He busts out of the closet, and Ruby goes, boop, 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 boop.
And they're like, hey, where'd you get this? And it just shows him like a wizard, like, it's like, oh god, I gotta pee, and he like sets his keyboard down on this bench, goes over to the bush and starts peeing, and then you see Rigby from behind just grab it
He
and run.
steals this magic keyboard from a wizard while he's taking a piss.
And they're just like, oh, just found it.
Yep.
Jesus
God,
Christ.
it's so fucking good. And they come up with the fun little like dance songs. They send Skips to the moon by accident, and then they have like a space adventure.
Yeah, it's time for Skips to go to your room. Yeah, Skips, it's time for you to go to the moon. He's like, I said room, you idiot, room. I was like, oh, well, it's not, it's not a big deal. It's fine.
I fucking love that later Rigby's like, oh, I send everything to the moon.
I sent a lot of stuff to the moon, guys.
Like, if he didn't like it, he just sent it there. It's fucking amazing.
Oh, man. So my favorite episode has got to be the Death Punch
That one
episode,
is good.
where basically Mordecai always beats Rigby in this game of punchies, where they just take turns punching each other until like one person gives up. And Rigby, like I said earlier, can't punch worth shit, so Mordecai just like punches him down, and it goes on this montage of him like just punching Rigby out of nowhere, and it's always so funny. Like
shit.
Rigby, like I'm pretty sure like he had this like ice cream dish in his hand. All of a sudden, Mordecai comes out of nowhere and just like you see this big smile on his face. And he just punches Rigby. Oh no! I'm sorry. That was a Jinx episode where like he jinxes Rigby, and you can't talk while you're jinxed unless someone says your name 3 times.
Yeah.
So he would like follow Rigby around, and Rigby would like say something, and Mordecai come out of nowhere and like punch him, and Rigby would on the ground and be like, "Oh God," in pain, and Mordecai would just punch him again on the ground.
Or do you remember Blondecai?
Blondecai was great.
Like, Mordecai loses a bet due to a video game where, so they're like, Mordecai's like, I'm totally gonna beat you in this game, dude. And Rigby's like, no, I'm totally gonna win this time. And Mordecai's like, yeah, right. And he's like, I'm gonna go to the kitchen and get a glass of water or something. And Rigby, behind Mordecai's back, unplugs the controller from the video game console and covers it with a sock.
Yep.
And he's like, all right, you ready to play? And Mordecai is like, yeah, let's do this, dude. And they start, and Mordecai's like, what? My controller's not working. And so Rigby just continues the fight anyway, and he goes, oh, you lose, loser. Now you have to dye your hair blonde. So Mordecai does the thing. He dyes his hair, and he finds out that he starts making a bunch of friends with other blonde guys.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, they like initiate him into like a cult of blonde guy stuff, and it gets more and more culty as the episode goes on, to the point where they're like, all right, you have to sacrifice somebody. Then he lures Rigby to a fucking cave, and they're like literally about to kill Rigby. It's so fucking good.
Or we have there's a lot of TikTok sounds that have actually come from regular show, like,
oh, yeah.
You know, admit it, Benson. No, you're not cool. Then throws on sunglasses. How about now, Benson?
Come on now, Benson.
Or we got, you know, thank you for being so dumb.
Yeah. You're fired. You know, I guess I've noticed those in passing, but I didn't really bring those up. That's funny. Or what was it? The episode where they find an air hockey, not an air hockey table, but like a
stick.
Yeah, it's stick hockey.
hockey.
It's it's like foosball, but stick hockey. And they're like, this is the greatest game ever. Yeah, the best game ever. And they just want to play this game. And it leads to just a bunch of fucking wacky shit where like Benson gets rid of the machine, even though he promised not to, if they could get all of their chores done. And they get everything done in like record time. And they're like, all right, Benson, where's the game? And he goes, oh, I got rid of it. And they're like, what? You didn't hold up your end of the deal? So they spend the episode trying to look for this machine, and it just leads them to some crazy, really seedy, almost like it's almost if like the Karate Kid was about fucking stick hockey,
or like Balls of Fury.
Yeah, Balls of Fury
with stick hockey.
Dude, so fucking good.
So much good shit.
Like, and it's so far, at least for the first like 3 seasons, I know I've watched almost all of this a couple times, and I like, if we just looked up and down a list of episodes, it'd be like, that episode's great, that episode's great, that episode's great. It's just banger after banger after banger, and he's so good and so consistent with his humor, which is why this thing rightly deserves a current Google review of 4.9 out of 5.
I can believe it.
Out of thousands of reviews, 1,200 ratings out of 4.9. And I've got a really nice, a decent one here that I feel like it's not too long, written by Junior Beast, who says he gave it 5 stars. He said, when I was much younger, I loved the heck out of this show, and recently I went to rewatch it and see if it's still as good, and thank God it is. This is much more than I remembered. That's a weird way of saying that. I looked past a lot of the emotions and deeper meanings this masterpiece had to offer as a kid, but rewatching it I saw those things, and man, I cried many times, from tears of joy and respect to also tears of sadness and pain. You get to really see the growth of all the characters throughout and how their development changes, how you feel about the show. Not one character felt basic or boring. They are all relatable in their own way. There's just so many, well, he misspells a bunch of shit. There's just so many comedic moments that I still land here, and the iconic friendship of Mordecai and Rigby feels like a genuine friendship. J.G. Quintel definitely showed a true masterpiece here, and I'm glad I experienced it, and definitely will rewatch over and over again. It's not about the random things that occur because of something small. It's also a series on friendship and how close they can be to almost like a family that is truly shown in a beautiful way. So many great times watching this, and also what a great ending that was. Can't wait to see
That
the
ending
movie.
was so good.
I need to see that. I don't know if I've actually seen it.
The ending, oh,
Yeah.
it was pretty nice actually. I enjoyed it. My girlfriend even thought the ending was very sweet, and she's never even watched it except for a couple episodes, and she thinks I'm crazy for liking it.
Really?
And she watched. She actually listens to our podcast now. So thank you, honey, for first of all supporting me. I really appreciate that. But also, you're adorable. But we're gonna keep watching regular show.
No, what? Okay.
Oh no, this is actually funny. Here's the thing. I'm looking at the 1-star reviews,
Yeah,
and
me
they're
too.
actually really hilarious because all of them are just like, this show's racist because there's not enough people of color in the show, and I'm like, the
Well-
main character is a bird and a raccoon.
They're talking about the voice actors.
Oh yeah, no, this one, yeah. Oh, I guess no. Here's one. This guy put 1-star review. His review is, the show is amazing, but I'm giving it a 1 star so people will actually read this. 90% of the reviews, it's racist. 5% of the reviews, ugh. Insert TV show is better. 4% of the reviews, not child friendly. 1% of the reviews, anything else.
Wolfdog606. This is going to be fun. This show is recommended for ages 12 to 14. However, there is sexual innuendo and coarse, I like that word, language. Literally what he says. 1 star. No one thought that was... Oh, no. 10 people found that helpful.
1 star, Shivansh Parigala says, I hate this TV show so much because it is rude and inappropriate. Has adult jokes and way more ruder than Rick and Morty, and this show says you're fired every time.
Because you're fired. Benson's always fucking trying to fire those guys. It's amazing.
Those two, they are awful workers. Let's be real here.
They really are. But I mean, as long as they get the job done. I mean,
What is this bullshit? I would have liked regular show more if it had actors and actresses of color instead of just white, especially white males. Why? It is a fucking cartoon.
right? Like, just, I mean, I don't understand that. Like, sometimes the people you cast are just cast because of their talent, not because of their skin color.
Right.
And it just turns out that these people that he got on this job happen to be who he wanted for these voices because they can do the voice that he thinks is right for the character.
Right.
And after watching this show, if there's a single character that you tell me that voice is not right for, you are dead ass wrong. Every single, like, I could not picture these characters any other way. Like, if Rigby had a slightly different voice, I don't think it would work.
Let's see. We have main character. We have two. Yeah. You know what? Fine. You want to have a win here? Yes. The main characters are all white. They're mostly male, but we have some female characters. Obviously, we have Eileen and Margaret, who then become more of regular workers or more regular performers, and then we have CJ as a character. Let's see here. Oh my God, Tim Curry's on this show. What the frack?
Yeah.
There are people of color in the show. Low5 Ghost is voice actor is black.
Oh.
Which is neat. I would never have known.
Right.
Unless I looked at that.
Again, like,
It does not freaking matter. It is a cartoon about crazy acid-inducing characters, like induced characters.
right?
People that are rating the show a 1 because of that are obviously not watching the show.
I'm sorry,
And-
but Benson is a fucking gumball machine. Who cares if his voice actor is white, black, Asian? It does not fucking matter. He's a gumball machine. Gumball machine.
Who actually voices Benson? I'm looking at the list. I don't see any
Fuck. You know, I went to go look that up, and
Sam Marin.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Because I think he also does not Muscle Man, is it?
Yeah, he does Muscle Man.
Oh yeah, he also does Pops. Yeah.
Pops and Muscle Man.
Yeah. So he does fucking 3
Good shit.
different people.
But anyway, that's my little rant there. Like, review the show, hate the show because you genuinely do not like it. Fine. We don't have the same taste in shows. Fine. Cool. It's okay to be wrong. But then but don't rate the show because of stupid, like, I don't know what to call that. It's just like, you don't like the voice actors.
Right? Like, to me, like, obviously I'm a white dude, but from my perspective, when you do something like to include somebody of a different skin color or race specifically because they are that skin color and race, and you need them because they are that skin, that to me almost feels more racist than just this is the right guy for the job. Like, that does not make any sense to me. Would it be like, oh well, we chose this guy because they're Asian, or we chose this guy because he's black. Like, that feels a little racist, my dude, to just be like, yeah, we chose them because if we don't have someone of their skin color or their nationality, then people will hate us.
And it's so weird that, like, this is the first time I've seen, like, negative reviews about an animated show that we've done here that has multiple, there's a lot of these 1-star reviews that all say the same thing.
It's all for the same thing, yeah.
It's all, like, it's racist for having, white people in the cast. It's like, why is this the one show that... I'm wondering if someone just saw that and then they're just, like, adding more and more 1-star racist comments because they think it's funny.
Yeah. But hey, thank you everybody for listening. I really want to thank Schminkadelic for the use of our intro and outro, because I'm pretty sure, again, I'm dumb as fuck, I'm pretty sure I forgot to thank him in our last episode. So thank you. Thank you for entering our contest. I did see you did that as well. So thank you so much. He's a great dude. Go check out some more of his tunes. Schminkadelic. You can find him on Spotify and Apple Music for some of that delicious dance and trance that makes me want to dance. Well, I don't really dance, but if I wanted to dance, I would dance to that. I also want to thank the Barn. The Barn for having us as part of their network. Those are some cool dudes. Go check out some of the other podcasts like Birds and Swords, Vulgar Display of Podcasts, which actually I'm doing a little bit for Vulgar here coming up in the next month. Pretty cool.
Yeah, I heard
pretty
that.
Excited to do that and get to interview one of the bands at this really big show that's coming downtown here, so I'm pretty fucking stoked to do that. Also, I'm pretty sure this will be out long after, well, actually, I don't know when he's going to post this, but tomorrow I'm going to interview sit in on an interview with Chad with a guy who's got a PhD in, like, serial killer psychology. So we get to interview this guy. I forget his fucking name. It's like Scott Bran. I don't remember, something like that. But yeah, I'm really excited. He was posting on Facebook. He's like, "Does anybody like stuff like this?" I'm like, "Dude, I am literally listening right now as I write this comment and reply to your post to a Stephen King book that is about an Albert Fish copycat killer. Like, I love this serial killer shit. It's good." But Stephen King, he gets all fucking, like, weird and fucking, like, supernatural and aliens and shit, so I'm waiting for the twist to find out what it actually is that's going on here. There's a little bit of, like, supernatural stuff that starts happening, but I'm waiting for it to truly start getting crazy, because all of his books they do every time.
There you go.
Sometimes it's just aliens, and I fucking hate it. You know what, I will say this, I'm not even ashamed to do this: do not read The Dome or Under the Dome. It is, don't get me wrong, it's such a cool ride. You're like, yo, this is so fucking good. And then I shit you not, it's like the last 2 pages of the book, like, fucking ruined. Do not read Under the Dome. It is goddamn terrible. His character writing is so good. And then he goes and does this bullshit to me that I'm like, well, there goes fucking 40 hours of my life. God, fucking stupid. I hated it. It infuriates me. But yeah. Well, hey, everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been the Men of Zen. Once again, my name is Brent.
My name's GBF, aka Garrett Bobby Ferguson.
Ferguson.
You can call me Phil.
Thanks again for everybody listening. Stay zen. Oh!